Magical Mystery School. Thank you so much for coming back. We've got so many fun things to cover. And this is lesson 14. Yay! So we're going to talk about Mars and Venus today. The reason why I've got the love book out. And this is a really excellent one. It's written for gals. Sorry, guys. But guys might be interested in it too. But anyway, oh, and I also wanted to let you know, if you're just finding me for the first time and you're like, this is lesson 14, where's lesson 1? If you go to the end of the video, there'll be a little square box and it'll say astrology, and it'll just pick on that, click on that, and you'll get the playlist for all the classes. And also down here, down below, there'll be a little circle with my lovely face in it. And and that will have, if you click on that, that'll take you straight to my channel where you can find my playlist. And it took me like 2 years of watching YouTube to figure that out. So that's why I'm telling you. Some of you are probably smarter than me. But anyway, okay, so let's start with Venus. We'll just give you a quick rundown. So remember, Venus is our planet that rules beauty, art, how we, what do we love, what turns us on, and what we want goes along with money, because money tends to get us what we want in this society that we have these days. So so that was one thing when I first started studying astrology. I found amazing that money and love are the same kind of thing, basically, or same symbols, which I found quite a little worrisome, a little interesting. But now, and then Mars is going to show us our desire nature, or how we get what we want. So Venus is what we want, and Mars is how we get that. And actually, finding Venus in someone's chart or your own chart is a great way to find out what kind of gifts to give them. If they've got Venus in Capricorn, they'll love getting a vacuum cleaner for a present. If they have Venus in Taurus, then give them a massage for a gift, you know, things like that. So that can really help you out a lot. So, and Mars is also our courage, our, and one thing that really, when I first started studying astrology, Mars also shows us how we protect ourselves and how we define our boundaries. And I think that's so important because some of us, especially those of us in the more spiritual or metaphysical areas, sometimes our boundaries can be kind of wishy-washy. So it's good to have Mars there to help protect us. Anger, that's another thing that Mars shows us. So like Mars and Aries, they're going to get mad. They're going to blow up right in front of you and the hair trigger, but then it's gone. It's over. They've forgotten about it. A Taurus, you'll never know you've made them mad until you drop the proverbial straw that breaks the bull's back, and then kaboom, the volcano explodes, right? So, you know, just keep that in mind, that there are different ways we show anger too, and how that works. And also Mars, not only does it show our action and our courage and that sort of thing, it can also show where maybe a little violence or danger can show up in our lives. So I don't really want to talk that much about that kind of thing, but just to make you aware that that is out there. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll just continue how we've done before. I'll bring you down to look at the chart, and we'll do a new rising sign, so all the house cusps will be different. And then I'll do Venus in like 3 of the houses, 3 or 4 of the houses, so that you can get an idea of how to integrate, because that's our big goal for these lessons that we're having right now, is how to integrate the meaning of the house, the sign on the house cusp, and if there's a planet in there, how that's going to give you a little bit of oomph in that house, a little special extra energy. So I'm going to put you on pause to bring you down. Okay, so last time we got as far, we had Leo on the rising sign, so we're going to do Virgo on the rising sign. And first off, if you have Venus in the first house, lucky you. I tell you, or you, I guess I should point out. That's a really wonderful thing. Not only are you just going to maybe be a little bit more attractive, a little bit, you'll be attractive. But even if you're not a classic beauty like a Miss America or something like that, you'll still have a very pleasing look to you, and people will just find you very comfortable and easy to talk to and easy to relate to. Okay, I got to put you on Pasari. Okay, so and Virgo rising is going to be a fairly critical, to have a very critical eye about things, maybe overanalyze a little bit. So people with Virgo rising, and especially with Venus in that first house, probably tend to stay single a little bit longer, because they're going to really check out who they get involved with. But this person, again, is going to present themselves. They're going to be very neatly dressed, clean, tidy, that sort of thing. If you do have Virgo rising, though, sometimes you can feel a little bit lonely, but that Venus sign will help you out a lot if you do have Venus in there. Okay, now with Libra on the second house cusp, remember the second house is how we make our income, our day-to-day jobs, that sort of thing, our value systems and such. So with Libra being on the second house, and if Venus is also in that second house, you kind of got a double whammy there, because remember, Venus rules Libra. So, so you're going to want, even though you may wait for the right person, you're going to have a marriage partner that you really get along with. You're going to take your time and pick the right person. There's going to be a lot of togetherness in this relationship. With Venus in there and Libra, you are going to want to make some money, because that's a Taurus house. So you're going to like to have your pleasant things together. So you will want to make that spending money for sure. Now, Scorpio on the third house cusp with Venus, that's a little bit more uncomfortable for us. That was Venus and Libra, just that works really well together. But of course, with Venus and Scorpio together, the third house is our neighbors, our siblings, our education, how we communicate, things like that. So we're going to be a little bit, with Venus and Scorpio, we are going to want to have passion and intensity in that relationship. You can get kind of jealous, so watch out for that. Be careful. Remember, this is communication too, so talk. Don't let yourself get into resentment and anger and such. Do let yourself talk things out. You'll be much, much better. And this is another sign of kind of going slow before you get into a relationship. And with being the third house, the Gemini house, this is the couple that's texting each other and all that kind of stuff. You're actually, gonna run errands together. You might even be interested in a little car sex or some quickies there, that kind of thing. Because Gemini is our fast-moving one. And I'll just quickly hit Sagittarius here in the fourth house cusp. Remember, the fourth house is home, and Sagittarius is kind of where we go big, and Venus there also. So you do tend to have a little bit larger home. Sagittarius likes to travel, so you may even be doing some traveling and living abroad, that sort of thing. Okay, let's go ahead and move to Mars. And remember, I'm just giving you the skinny here on all this, and hopefully you'll be interested enough that you'll want to find out more and more about this. So Mars, we're gonna move the chart around. Oh, there we go. There's the clock. Okay, so this time we'll talk about a Libra rising person. Okay, so remember cardinal signs. If you got cardinal, you're going to have on all four angles, cardinal, cardinal, cardinal. And Mars is a little uncomfortable in Libra in this first house. But again, because Libra is a sign of beauty ruled by Venus. Oops, let me get that straight there on the screen. Looks a little better. You're going to find, again, a very attractive person. Libra rising tends to have dimples and such. But with Mars in that house cusp, this might be someone who's, yes, they're very attractive, but when they walk into a party, they may be like, look at me, and be kind of a flirt and maybe a little too much sometimes. So just keep that in mind. If you're Libra rising, if you've got Mars in there, maybe tone it down a notch. Everybody knows you're pretty. We got it. Okay. Fourth house. So now we did the first quadrant. I'm going to do the second quadrant now. So now let's talk about Mars and Capricorn in the fourth house. And fourth house is our actual physical home. And Mars is very comfortable in Capricorn. This is going to be a pretty successful person. Remember those polarities, 10th house career. So they may very well have a business at home, be a professional success. With that Mars energy there, they're focused. They've got plenty of work or energy for home. Can sometimes be a little domineering at home, so keep an eye out for that. And this, whenever we see Mars in Capricorn, we'll also always think too, is this a military person that I'm talking to? Oh, and also another thing about Mars in the fourth house, this is like the do-it-yourselfer, the handyman, that kind of thing. So Mr. Home Improvement or Miss Home Improvement with Mars in the fourth. Okay, so let's move on to Mars in the fifth house. And this is Aquarius. And remember, the fifth house is our house of romance. Remember, seventh house is our marriage partner. So this is our having fun sexual relationships. So with Mars there, you can be pretty sexually active. Okay, you can be kind of out there, and especially with Aquarius on the fifth house cusp, that can give you kind of a coolness or a detachment a little bit. So kind of watch out for that. If you have this in your chart, you might want to actually be upfront with people that you're not into a long-term relationship, or Aquarius is also something different, so that you might want a different kind of relationship than the typical one that we think of. But this is a person with Mars and Aquarius that it's actually fun for them to go to protests. They like doing things their own way. They want to get out there and protest for humanitarian reasons and that sort of thing. So a little bit of an odd person there, though. Okay, and then the sixth house with Pisces on the sixth house cusp and Mars in there. That's a little bit of a difficult combination also. But remember, the sixth house is where we're of service. It's a house ruled by Virgo. So a little bit of a perfectionist. This also rules health. So I would see this, and with Mars there, I would see this as a good place for a doctor or surgeon, okay? Because Mars rules sharp instruments and such. And Pisces, sixth house, we can also think about doing repairs. So not only, I mean, that's what a surgeon's doing, is repairing your body. Not only are they doing that, but they're also could be really good at computer repair, car repair, anything like that. So these folks are not comfortable being out in the spotlight, unlike these guys here. So they're going to actually want to work behind the scenes. They need quiet. They need some solitude. Pisces on the sixth house to regenerate themselves. Mars. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about sixth house relationships and such. Okay, so I think we've gone through these bottom two quadrants, and on the next classes we're going to go into well, actually I'll put you on pause. Okay, so the next classes, we're going to go over Jupiter and Saturn, and those are transpersonal planets, and kind of go through the same thing. And hopefully you're kind of getting the hang of how to combine and interpret these things. Remember, we're making sentences now. Okay, see you guys next time, and just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye, love you guys.